Hello everyone, and welcome to our video where we will be discussing the latest round of sanctions against Russia imposed by the European Union, 1 year after its invasion of Ukraine. The EU has imposed several rounds of sanctions against Russia since 2014, following its illegal annexation of Crimea and its destabilizing actions in eastern Ukraine. In this video, we will explain what these sanctions are, why they were imposed, and what their impact has been so far, as well as the latest sanctions announced by the EU. What are the sanctions against Russia? The sanctions against Russia are a series of restrictive measures imposed by the European Union and other countries in response to Russia's aggression towards Ukraine. These measures include economic sanctions, asset freezes, travel bans, and arms embargoes. Why were the sanctions imposed? The sanctions were imposed in response to Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea and its support for separatists in eastern Ukraine. The EU and other countries consider these actions a violation of Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty. How have the sanctions been implemented? The sanctions have been implemented in several rounds since 2014. The first round of sanctions targeted individuals and entities involved in the annexation of Crimea and the conflict in eastern Ukraine. Subsequent rounds of sanctions expanded to include additional individuals, entities, and sectors of the Russian economy. What has been the impact of the sanctions on Russia? The sanctions have had a significant impact on the Russian economy, particularly in the energy, financial, and defense sectors. They have led to a decline in foreign investment, reduced access to international capital markets, and limited Russia's ability to import technology and equipment. The sanctions have also led to a decline in the value of the ruble and an increase in inflation. How have the sanctions affected the EU? The sanctions have also had an impact on the EU's economy, particularly in some member states that have close economic ties with Russia. However, the EU has taken steps to mitigate these effects, such as providing financial assistance to affected businesses and industries. The EU has also emphasized the importance of solidarity among member states in maintaining the sanctions regime. Are the sanctions effective? The effectiveness of the sanctions is a matter of debate. While they have had a significant impact on the Russian economy, some argue that they have not led to a change in Russia's behavior towards Ukraine. Others argue that the sanctions have helped to deter further Russian aggression. The EU has maintained that the sanctions will remain in place until Russia fully implements the Minsk agreements, which aim to restore peace in eastern Ukraine. What are the latest sanctions announced by the EU? On February 24, 2023, the EU announced a new round of sanctions against Russia, 1 year after its invasion of Ukraine. The new sanctions target Russian companies and individuals involved in the conflict in eastern Ukraine, as well as in the illegal annexation of Crimea. The measures include asset freezes, travel bans, and restrictions on access to the EU market for certain goods and services. What is the impact of the latest sanctions? It is too early to determine the full impact of the latest sanctions, but they are expected to further damage the Russian economy and put pressure on the Russian government to change its behavior towards Ukraine. The EU has emphasized that the sanctions are a necessary response to Russia's continued aggression and violations of international law. In conclusion, the sanctions against Russia are a series of restrictive measures imposed by the EU and other countries in response to Russia's aggression towards Ukraine. While they have had a significant impact on the Russian economy, their effectiveness in changing Russia's behavior towards Ukraine is a matter of debate. The EU has emphasized the importance of solidarity among member states in maintaining the sanctions regime. The EU has reiterated its commitment to finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Ukraine, and the sanctions are seen as a necessary response to Russia's continued aggression and violations of international law. Thank you for watching this video about the latest round of sanctions against Russia. If you found this video informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on international news and events. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.